Typically, the concept of an entrepreneur revolves around an individual. But reality is, you can only go alone for so long. Over the course of 2 decades being an entrepreneur, throughout my journey to personal and professional success, I have found time and time again, it was my tribe who saved me. Without my tribe, I certainly would not be where I am today, continuing to grow and evolve in my purpose and mission. In today's session, we will explore the core of building tribes to build your business on strong foundation. Coming up. If you're new to this channel, we provide directions on how to establish yourself as a successful entrepreneur based on sound strategies and tactics. Let's explore the modest and effective ways to build strong tribe who can help your business grow organically with sustainable progression. You start by choosing members who are better than you in certain fields. If possible, they should all better you in every state of business. That's what smart entrepreneurs do. By changing our focus from the person we are hiring, that is far better version of us in every area, to the bigger picture. And that's the ultimate success that will come thanks to the selfless effort of that same future employee. We are putting our vision on certain growth trajectory path. We just need to swallow our ego from time to time without compromising our leadership status. The next criterion may seem problematic. You should prefer those candidates who demonstrate initial, instinctive affection towards your idea and organization. It takes less than 2 seconds to form an impression about someone or something. And that first impression is powerful enough to sustain a couple of direct hits before it even evolves into a permanent affection. Now, many falsely believe that only a keen eye can distinguish between honest awe and sucking up. But is it the keen eye or the right approach, such as asking the one question that everybody hates in interviews? Why do you think you are a good fit for this position? Generally speaking, those faking it will talk about themselves, while those genuinely inspired will focus on your primary interest. Because it is never about candidate per se, but about the company, position, project, idea, vision, mission, plans. In other words, a minimal amount of I, me, mine, and maximum amount of you, it, your, them, theirs, right? Create an inspiring narratives and use words to figure out the way to bring your team closer together. A vision doesn't necessarily have to be spoken, written, or based on words. Take McDonald's, for example. In the 60s, even though they expanded, the price of a hamburger was still fixed at 3 nickels. Even the slogan in the early 60s was real good and still only 15 cents. McDonald's vision is to generate profit. Not that inspiring, is it? Well, McDonald's has never been about inspiration, but rather about pleasing its customer with speed, price, and quality. Yet Ray Kroc's Hamburger University proves that even the company with the lousy vision statement can inspire teams to drive profit. Knowing that he can't really inspire populace with such vision, Kroc focused on building a highly efficient, uniform teams with already established killer service and operations. Just by having an opportunity to spend 32 hours learning alongside the other fellow Mickey's employees is rewarding enough and creates a sense of belonging. And that's the key takeaway here. Installing sense of belonging. That most primitive instinct we as a species possess is still the most powerful drive. Ask any hardcore Harley Davidson fan, would he ride a Honda? You can do it through continuous inspirational communication like Steve Jobs has done, or you can get creative and figure out a way to bring your team closer together as Ray Kroc has done. Either way, you need to get to them, and while you are bringing them closer together, you should explain the already defined mission. Defining the mission, the what. Let's take a look at the mission statement of our familiar favorite, McDonald's. And I quote, "McDonald's brand mission is to be our customers' favorite place and way to eat and drink. Our worldwide operations are aligned around a global strategy called the Plan to Win, which centers on exceptional customer experience, people, product, place, price, and promotion. We are committed to continuously improving our operations and enhancing our customers' experience." Why that mission specifically? First off, McDonald's knows that the most meaningful way to grow the business and create value for all of their stakeholders is by serving more customers more often. In other words, by increasing sales, they are increasing profit. That's why they are focusing on giving customers what they really want: hot, delicious food served quickly, with an overall experience and value for their money that meets their rising expectations. Does this mission correlate with their vision to move with velocity to drive profitable growth? It sure does, because the only way to deliver on that vision is to be customers' favorite place and way to eat and drink. But how in the world are they going to achieve that? By organizing their growth strategy, vision, and mission into reasonable, achievable goals. How to organize goals, the how. Mickey D's has identified, as they call it, 3 key pillars and 3 key accelerators of their growth strategy. To retain customers, they are capitalizing on their strengths with particular focus on breakfast and family occasions. However, having just a fixed base of loyal customers is simply not enough, so they are reaching out to regain lost customers and convert casuals into fans by improving the quality of their food, enhancing convenience, and offering strong value, and offering coffee and snacks to the group. The 3 accelerators they identified are digital sphere, delivery and technology upgraded service, and ambient to provide experience of the future in the US. All of these are McDonald's how. In other words, by organizing their strategy from top to bottom and identifying 6 vital tactics, they can now move down the vertical and break each of these tactics into the goals. For example, to provide an enhanced digital experience, they need software developers. So one goal may be to hire a team or simply outsource. To regain lost customers, they need to re-educate staff or reassess the current practices across the landscape to identify potential problems. That translates to a possible goal of conducting an extensive Q&A in spaces that are receiving the most negative reviews. Each of these agendas requires a series of steps. Each step is effectively a goal. By defining that step, that goal, employees know exactly how to deliver on both the mission, the what, and vision, the why. Let's take a look at the analogy of an army battalion. On their own, without precise instructions, goals, they are pretty much a useless group of fun people who are wasting time standing still. They know that they are fighting for their country and the values that our country stands for, the why. They also know they need to advance against the enemy by engaging in direct conflict, the what. But for as long as they don't receive tactical plans from the chief strategist, they don't know how to do it. Now, when you have your team all worked up, it's time to use that energy and momentum and overflow your customers with it. Check out my book on Amazon, Entrepreneurship Startup Guide, How to Ignite Curiosity and Inspire Action. Down below in comment section, let me know if you used any specific technique to build your tribe. Thank you for listening in, and I'll bring you more quality contents real soon. Thank you.